Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, will be shortly arriving in Nepal for a two-day state visit at the invitation of Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Today, he will be visiting a key pilgrimage spot, Janakpur, regarded as the birthplace of Hindu goddess Sita. Both Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Oli will jointly flag off the Ayodhya-Janakpur bus service on the Janki temple premises. Now, this is part of Modi's efforts to strengthen India-Nepal cultural ties. Later in the day, Prime Minister Modi will depart for Kathmandu, where he'll hold bilateral talks with his Nepalese counterpart. Prime Minister Modi is likely to announce 3 separate surprise gifts for Kathmandu, Janakpur and Muktinath temple during his state visit to Nepal. He will visit Hindu temples and reach out to the people of Nepal. As close neighbors, India and Nepal share a unique relationship of friendship and cooperation characterized by open borders and deep-rooted people-to-people contact. WION's Siddhant Sibul reports from Kathmandu.
Nepal is all set to welcome the Indian Prime Minister, who will be on the two-day visit to the country from 11th to 12th of May. He will be visiting 3 cities, Janakpur, Kathmandu and Muktinath. He will be jointly inaugurating the Arun 3 project along with the Nepal's Prime Minister. The Arun 3 project is the biggest infrastructure and hydroelectric power project in Nepal.
The Indian Prime Minister will depart from Patna on an Indian Air Force helicopter and land at Janakpur's Baharbika. He will address a public rally in Janakpur, which is set to be linked to Indian tourism's Ramayan circuit. Modi will arrive in Kathmandu after completing his official engagements in Janakpur. Prime Minister Modi will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at Tundikhel in Kathmandu before he meets with Prime Minister KP Oli for delegation-level talks. Prime Ministers Oli and Modi will lay the foundation of Arun 3 hydroelectricity project through video conferencing. In Mustang, the Indian Prime Minister will visit Muktinath, which is a sacred place for both Hindus and Buddhists. Within Hinduism, it is called Mukti Kshetra, which literally means the place of liberation or moksha. This temple is considered to be the 106th among the available 108 Divya Desams considered sacred by the Sri Vaishnava sect.
The Prime Minister of India is leveraging diplomacy with faith. He, along with the Prime Minister of Nepal, will be jointly inaugurating a bus service from Janakpur, which is the birthplace of Goddess Sita, towards Ayodhya. And Janakpur will be part of the Ramayana circuit. Of course, the Prime Minister of Nepal will be receiving the Indian Prime Minister at the Janki temple in Janakpur, while the Defence Minister will be receiving the Indian Prime Minister when he arrives here in Nepal.
Oli's visit was seen as an attempt to repair Nepal's ties with India. In 2016, Oli had publicly criticized India for allegedly interfering in Nepal's internal matters and accused it of toppling his government. India is Nepal's largest trading partner and the largest source of foreign investments, besides providing transit for almost the entire third country trade of Nepal. India accounts for over 2/3 of Nepal's merchandise trade, about 1/3 of trade and services, 46% of foreign direct investments, almost 100% of petroleum supplies, and a significant share of inward remittance on account of pensioners and workers.
Well, India-Nepal ties have been a roti-beti ka rishta. The relationship has been a special one, and the Indian Prime Minister would like to make it more special with this visit. This is the 3rd visit of the Indian Prime Minister. He first came to Nepal on a bilateral visit, then he went to SAARC for another visit, and he came here in Nepal, and finally this visit is happening. Big focus will be on how the Indian Prime Minister tries to build new bonds between New Delhi and Kathmandu. With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Siddhant Sibul from Kathmandu.
Our correspondent Siddhant Sibul joins us live from Pashupatinath Temple in Kathmandu. Now, Siddhant, what will be the focus of the visit?
Well, I'm standing at the historic Pashupatinath temple in the heart of the capital city of Nepal, Kathmandu, and the Indian Prime Minister is all set to begin his historic visit to Nepal, his 3rd visit to Nepal. First he came for a bilateral visit, then of course for the SAARC summit, and now this visit is happening. He will be going to three cities, and focus will be on faith diplomacy, infrastructure and connectivity. Let's talk about faith diplomacy because his first stop will be Janakpur, where he will visit the Janki Devi temple. This temple is the birthplace of Devi Sita, and along with the Prime Minister of Nepal, he will flag off a bus service connecting Janakpur to Ayodhya, and Janakpur will be part of the Ramayana circuit. Then in Kathmandu, where I am standing in Pashupatinath, he will pay his respects and pray here in this temple. This is his second visit to Pashupatinath temple because in his first visit also he came to this temple, and finally he will go to Muktinath to the Shiv temple there. But other than faith diplomacy, focus will be on infrastructure and connectivity. On infrastructure, both the Prime Minister, the Indian Prime Minister and Nepal's Prime Minister will through video conferencing flag off and inaugurate the Arun 3 project. That will be the largest hydropower project in this country. And finally, talking about connectivity, India is going to build a railway line from Kathmandu to Raxaul that will connect Kathmandu Valley with the rest of the Indian railway network, which of course means that I can travel from Delhi to Kathmandu. So these are the things that are going to happen in this visit, a two-day visit of the Indian Prime Minister to Nepal.
Right. And how do you characterize India-Nepal ties?
Well, India-Nepal relationship has been close, and it's called a food and of course a family relationship. Remember, both the countries share close ties, especially on the people-to-people relationship. Maybe the government relationship between Kathmandu and New Delhi might be going up and down, but it's the people-to-people relationship that is making sure that this relationship works. But of course, there's anxiety in New Delhi about growing Chinese influence here in Nepal. We went across the streets in Kathmandu, in various locations in the business area of this city, this great city, where we saw most of the signboards were in Chinese. The people there told us that there are almost 200 Chinese businesses and hotels in that portion of the area. You can even get a Chinese SIM if you're traveling to China. China, of course, has its own connectivity plans with Nepal. China even proposed a connectivity plan from China, Nepal and India. India, of course, said that it would rather pursue its own connectivity plans with Nepal. India will be announcing major connectivity plans. As I've already mentioned, waterways will be the focus during the Indian Prime Minister's two-day visit here. So that is something that concerns India. But of course, India obviously wants a good relationship with Nepal, and that is why this visit comes. The visit of the Indian Prime Minister comes just in a matter of 1 month, because last month only Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli visited New Delhi, and of course a lot of things happened during that visit, and connectivity was also the main focus during that visit. So this is a follow-up visit of the Indian Prime Minister, symbolic of course, but symbolism has a lot of feelings and lot of importance when it comes to India-Nepal relationship, India-Nepal ties.
Right. Thank you so much, Siddhant, for getting us all those updates from Kathmandu.